not lengthy, but I think it's really, really important as far as class management. And it's called prep zones. There are areas in your class where you're going to make sure that these areas are manned before and after class. Let me share my screen so people can see my notes. So again, we call them prep zones. I'm going to talk directly about a couple clients because they use the prep zones, and I want to give you some secrets on how they do it and how they man them. But there's basically 3 areas in your school that we want to man. And the whole idea is to give help to students, get some feedback on our school and our classes, create business opportunities for maybe doing upgrades or getting people to sign up events, just making people, feel welcome to your school. The 3 areas are the front door, the parents area, and the mat. So before and after each class, we want to make sure that there's someone stationed. So someone's at the front door, and I'm not saying just by the front door, they're actually at the front door. And so if you walk into Tom Baker's school, he's got one of his daughters, and his daughter always opens the door to you, welcomes you, and you say hi to her. And it's just a really cool feeling. And when I go to Doug Bertrand's school in Vancouver, Washington, a lot of times he's the one who's by the door. So he's there, and he's doing 2 things. He's welcoming people when they come to his school, asking how their day is going. At the same time, he's saying goodbye to everyone. So he's saying goodbye, I hope you had a good class. He's doing 2 things. He's listening, and he's reading body language. So if he's stationed in the front door and says, hey, we're doing really, really good, and then the parents are really talking, and then they see the kids slouching, he just knows that there's something matter here. The parents are probably just won an argument that you're going to karate if you like it or not, and all of a sudden the kid's not wanting to be there, and you got to read that body language and make sure you address that before he hits the floor. Just like if you're saying goodbye to everyone and they're leaving, and all of a sudden some kid's dragging his bag and his mother kind of looks a little upset, we want to make sure that we talk to them, find out what's exactly going on. Maybe they were supposed to do a makeup class. Maybe they're supposed to do a makeup stripe test, and all of a sudden you let them go by, and now they get in the car and they're kind of expressing those bad feelings about the school when you could have actually saved it if you paid attention to what they're looking at and what they're talking about. So that's a real important position to be in. I remember going to a client, his name was Justin Garner. He was up in North Carolina or South Carolina, one or the other. But I was talking about these prep zones. And so we're standing by his door, and all of a sudden we see a car pull up, and all of a sudden the dad gets out, and the kid gets out, and he just throws his bag on the floor and just starts dragging across the sidewalk. Come in. Good thing we're here, because this kid does not want to come into this martial arts school. So I actually went out and started talking to the kid, and it seemed that he was home, and he had a friend over, and they were playing a video game, and all of a sudden his dad surprised him, says, you're going now to martial arts class, and the kid just didn't want to go because he was having too much fun with his friend. And so he's talking to his dad in the car, goes, I don't want to go to martial arts anymore. I don't want to do karate anymore. I don't want to take any lessons anymore. Well, he probably did. He just had a bad experience. So this is one of those times where manning that prep zone and really watching could have saved a student. And you would start thinking of the lifetime value of a student, how much that's worth. It was really good that we were manning Justin's front door at the time. The parents area, after class is over, one of the instructors should be walking a student over to where the parents are sitting or where the parents are gathering. What you want to do is make small talk to the parents. And when I say walk a child over there, you're going to have an opportunity to do a verbal good job note to the parent with the child listening, and this impacts both the child and the parent. So all of a sudden I'm walking over, and I've got David. I'm patting David on the shoulder. I got David, you're really, really good in class today. I go, Mrs. Lugo, I said, it was a pleasure having David in class today. Man, he was just so much energetic. He had so much energy to the class. We just love having him here. He's doing so well. You got to be so proud of him. Well, when I say that to Mrs. Lugo all of a sudden goes, this is a really cool place. These instructors really care about my child. And they're taking the time to come over. And at the same time, David's looking up and he feels really good because not only did I say that he's doing good, I said he's doing really good to his mom. And that's like a double impact. Now, once I've done that, now I'm in the parents area, so I'm just shaking hands to the parents. I go to watch my grandkids take class during the week, and Ben Cohen is the instructor at the school. Ben shakes hands with every single parent. So he'll come over after class. He's really good at that prep zone. That happens to be his. He brings the twins over. He'll shake my hand, say something, and then he shakes hands with every single person that's either sitting there or walking in. And what he's looking for is just building rapport with those parents. If parents do have something that comes up, they're going to make sure that they say something to him. If he happens to be over there and goes, hey, isn't it Emily's birthday coming up? Yeah, Emily's got a birthday next month. Hey, that's great. You know, she's just looking totally awesome in class. Have you thought of having her birthday party here at the martial arts school? So this is where I say you can actually do business. Or you can say, hey, Ben is bringing over the twins. He goes, Mr. Silva, I noticed the twins aren't signed up for the parents' night out. Will they be coming? Oh, yeah, they're going to be here. Well, could you sign up at the front counter? And at the same time, who are they going to bring? Are they going to bring a friend? Well, so the whole idea is I'm talking to parents. I have an opportunity to build rapport. I have an opportunity to do business with the parents by either building up my event, doing a birthday party. Maybe all of a sudden David is now ready to go into the leadership program. Now he's been 3 months now into the basic class or the welcome program. Now it's this time you got to be really proud. David's ready to jump into leadership. He's going to get his yellow belt next week, and now he's going to be qualified. Oh, wow, how do we do that? So now you have an opportunity to turn into a conversation for leadership. Another place is on the mat. So when one class is done, there should be an instructor on the mat. He's giving any extra help. So if you have a couple minutes and all of a sudden he needs to talk to someone to give some extra help, he can assign that to a leadership. Can you take Andrew for 1 second and go over to the end of the mat and just help him with that self-defense technique? That'd be a cool thing to do. I'm also, if I'm getting the class ready, I'm making sure that the other class is lining up. I'm taking their attendance if that's what you're doing. I'm making sure the floor looks really good. If there's some pads on the floor or some things that need to be picked up, I'm going to get a helper to do that, or I'm going to just assign that to someone. So that's my position. I'm on the mat. I'm making sure that any extra help that's needed is given. I'm making sure that anything needs to clean up is being cleaned up, and I'm making sure that the next class starts on time and attendance is taken. So those are your prep zones. So you really need 3 people. They don't all have to be instructors. I mean, a prep zone on the mat, that could be a leadership person who just does the warm-up for the next class. That front door could be who's ever behind my front counter is going to just do that for a couple minutes before class starts, and then she can get behind the front counter again. But those are the prep zones. Those are the areas that should be maintained. It's really important when you're training your staff that they know how to talk to parents. They feel very comfortable talking to parents. They also know how to read body language. Now, a parent may not tell you they're upset, but you can read it by looking at their face and looking at their body language. So it's really important that you train your team to really watch out for body language, because a lot of times people, before they just quit, they come in here and they just kind of put up with it for a little while. But you can tell when someone's really enjoying it or if they're just going through the motions. Now, everyone who does work in my school, I would either make sure that they have an iPad or a notepad to write notes down. I learned this I went up to a friend of mine's school in Connecticut, Scott Axsmith, and we did a seminar. It was a Sunday, and so before we left, I happened to go to a restaurant to have breakfast next to his martial arts school. And so I'm looking out the window, I see people coming up in a car and people coming out. They have presents in their hands. They had some balloons in their hands. And so I'm looking, I go, oh, Scott must be doing a birthday party today. So I'm watching, it's like 15 minutes later, people get in the car and they drive away. I go, oh man. I go, how do you recover from this? These kids came for a party and the instructor didn't show up. Well, it just happens to be that someone was doing their prep zone. A mom kid said they want to have a birthday party. We want to do it next week. The guy said, okay. He forgot to tell Scott. Scott forgot to arrange the birthday party. The mother handed out the invitations. Everyone came, and I don't even know how you overcome something like that. So at that point, I decided I'm going to make sure that everyone in my school who's doing a prep zone has an instructor. They have a pad to write notes down, and at the end of the day, anything that's important in those notes, they're going to pass along to me. So it could be a birthday party. It could just be a mom saying that she wants to set up an extra help class. Mom says she wants to do a private class for her other child, but make sure you have a notepad. So I was able to do that in 15 minutes. I told you it was going to be a fast meeting, but everything has to do with retention. It has to do with providing better service. It has to do with making sure that your students' experience at your school is above and beyond. Now, I just want to give a couple extra things because I knew that was going to be a fast meeting in prep zones. So I was just reading something for my own education. I was reading something by Brian Tracy today just about service. Because, I think about my company and things that I do, and I'm always trying to think of what level of service that I'm at and if everyone's having a good experience. So there's a certain level of service, and you may deal with this. You may have a car insurance company, and I asked the group today, how many times have you switched car insurance companies? And almost everyone did 1 or 2 times. So one person said they did it 3 times. And the reason that they switched insurance companies all to do with money. Someone gave them a lower price on insurance. It's because you really don't build a relationship with your insurance company. You buy your insurance, and probably the only time you'll ever talk to them is if something goes wrong. Now, if something goes wrong and all of a sudden they do a good job on it, you may have a little bit of loyalty. But most of the time, they're just doing the job. They call and say, did you make your payment? Yeah, I made my payment. And that's probably the only conversation. That's kind of the survival level of customer service. You're just meeting the customer's needs. You're not going above and beyond. You meet their needs. The next level is you want to exceed expectations. So, I could be working with my insurance company, and all of a sudden they send me a birthday card. Hey, Greg, hope you have a happy birthday. They call me up and say, I know you've had your car insurance for a little while. We just want to thank you for being a loyal member. At the same time, I just want to maybe give you the opportunity to price out your health insurance. So whatever it's going to be, that's like another level of service. When you get another level of service, now you start building up some type of loyalty. So when you start thinking about your martial arts school, what can you do to exceed people's expectations? So now you start to build loyalty. The next level is delighting someone. Delighting something is when you have some type of emotional connection. So, I have a student, and I'm teaching classes, and besides teaching classes, I send them a good job note. So when I send them a good job note, I exceed their expectations. Delighting them is, okay, I've got dad coming in. I know this is Movember. This is all about health. And I'm telling dad, hey, listen, I'd really like to have you come in and train with me free for the whole month of November. This is Movember, and it's a month that's dedicated to men's health and living a longer and healthier lifestyle. I'd really love to give you a month of classes, see if you like it, see if we can improve your fitness, and maybe you can meet some other fathers in here that really like training with their kids. So now I have a connection. So now I'm delighting a student. When there's delight, maybe you're exchanging a joke, but there's more of a human connection. Now you've got even stronger loyalty. So people aren't going to switch from your school to another school just because a new school came to town and is offering a lower price, but you've got that loyalty and you're building up that community. The next one is just when you amaze someone. So amazing someone could be that not only did the child get a good job note, but the parents got a nice thank you card, and the parents got a gift certificate for referring someone to your school. It's just something above and beyond. I started thinking about Rainmaker, and I know there was one client recently who was flown down to Rainmaker, and they just gave it to him as a gift. And they did a little training. That's the type of level of service which is amazing. And it's kind of neat because that person went above and beyond talking positive things about Rainmaker this weekend on a thread that was posted on someone's site. But just that situation just shows that, especially in a martial arts business, it's such a personal relation type of business that it's really easy for us to kind of exceed our expectations of our students. It's really easy to delight our students. It's probably really easy to amaze our students. I know a lot of you guys are doing, like Sal was just mentioned, they had the Halloween party. I mean, you don't have to do something like that, but when you do something like that, that just amazes the parents. It's giving their kids the opportunity to really socialize with other kids. It's not costing them anything. It's building up the friendships of the school, and it's going above and beyond. So I just wanted to share that with you today because I thought maybe you'd just be sitting down. I kind of learned that from this guy, Mark Illinson. Mark Illinson was one of my mentors back in Coral Springs when I had my big school. And I was telling him, man, I've had some complaints. He goes, you had complaints? I go, yeah. He says, the school's going really good, but I got some complaints about being too busy and not paying enough attention, and I'm not used to that. He goes, cool. He says, write everyone a thank you note. I go, what? These people just complained? He goes, good. He says, they brought something to your attention. They could have kept that to themselves. Write them all a thank you note. So that was one of the things I learned a long time ago about going above and beyond. So just something for you to kind of think about and see what you can do and how you can take advantage of that and help your business. But prep zones, I know you may say, well, yeah, I do talk to people once in a while when they come in, but are they really part of your system or something that's just happening once in a while? When we talk about systems, if prep zone is in your systems, it happens every class. Before the class, you're in the prep zones. After the class, you're in the prep zones. There's no doubt about it. People have assignments. It could be different assignments. I could be assigned to the mat one week and front door the next week. That's okay. That makes things interesting and just improves my ability to work for the school and help the business. Any questions? Comments?
I actually like that, sir. A lot of those little touches are very important and good reminders. And sometimes I still remember when I was going to church at the University of San Diego, and the priest would be outside afterwards and just trying to remember people's names and saying, how was this, how was that? And it made you feel comfortable just going to that specific church. And so that's what you were just mentioning, like before or after.
Yeah.
And it's those little things that make you feel good about where you go to.
It's funny how you say that. Talk to the priest because I go to a family church here in West Palm Beach, and the pastor Jimmy, after he's always up front. He's never leaves the area. And then when people are sitting down and waiting for the next service, he actually walks and shakes hands to people and goes pew to pew, and it's like you make that connection. And that connection is what makes the difference. I've been to churches before where I felt like I was just sitting there and watching a show, but I wasn't involved in the family of the church. So, yeah, real good point, sir.
I really like this, but like right now, I don't have the coverage to do all three.
Okay.
And I really enjoy saying hi to everybody as soon as they walk in the door, and but what would you suggest until I can get up to that point again to have somebody that decently trained to? I don't know. I've had some friends that do every week they have a door greeter or something like that. I don't know but that wouldn't be the same as like me out there.
If I was a one-man show, I would make sure I have at least 3 minutes class. I may bow out of class a couple minutes early. The next one's going to start a couple minutes late. And I'm going to go to the parent area, because parent area, you're going to see people coming in, you're going to see people to leave, and the parents are the big advocates of your school. We always want referrals. Very rarely will a 7-year-old kid refer his friend. That just doesn't happen. But there's a great chance that the parents can refer other people to your school. So I think the parent area had to be my number one choice.
Number one. Got it. It's good.
All right, guys. It's great talking to everyone. Gina, thanks for joining us again. I'm going to put a recording of this. Curtis, good to see you, sir. Okay, thank you, everyone. There will be a recording on this, and I'll put it on the Rainmaker.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye now.